Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of Talknology here on FTJ. Today I'm alone because Ananthan has run away to his home, Kerala, by the way. If any of you didn't know, he's a Malayali. Yes, I have read all those comments. Anyway, coming back to point, it's me today alone, but I have lots of juicy news for you. So without any further ado, let's get to the video. But hey, before we do remember to subscribe to the channel, hit a like if you enjoyed the video, and hit that bell icon so that you get to be a part of our notification squad. Starting off with the first big news for the day, and that is there's been a WhatsApp scam sort of that's going on. So basically what's been happening is people have been messaging others from unknown numbers, and then they have been saying something in the lines of, hey, I have sent an OTP by mistake to your number, can you please forward it to me? But what's actually happening behind the scenes is that they have entered your WhatsApp number and then they have requested an OTP, and the OTP of course comes to you. So once you forward that message, they will have all your personal details, all your WhatsApp chats, everything. So guys, please be aware of this. Please do not fall for the WhatsApp scam. It's been happening really frequently here in India right now. So guys, be aware of it. On to the second big news of the day, and that is Indian government is planning to ban 43 more apps. Okay, sorry, actually they are not planning to ban, they have already done it. And this is the news from yesterday. So these new apps that have been banned, we'll have them up on screen because, too much for me to just go through right now. There aren't many big names in there. The only two that I think are worth mentioning is AliExpress. So guys, if you don't know, AliExpress is a Chinese marketplace. You can order a lot of things from there. Personally, we here at C4E Tech have ordered a lot of our lights and, little trinkets and stuff like that from AliExpress. So that's going to be banned, and it has already been banned actually from the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. And along with that, there's another notable mention, that's Lalamove. But other than that, not really, not many major apps, but this is like the fourth wave of app bans, especially targeted at Chinese apps. The Indian government has been saying that the reason behind this bans is that all these apps, they have been stealing your information. So in case you have any of them installed on your phone, please do make sure that they are not stealing your data. If you're unsure about that, uninstall those apps, and from today onwards all these apps will not be available anymore for download from the Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. That does it for the second news of the day. Moving on to the third big topic, and apparently Google is being sued. Okay, so Google being sued is nothing new. We have heard that a lot of times, but this time it's over Android and data collection. So guys, what's been happening is apparently even if you leave a phone on idle, a phone that's connected to the Google Play services, it is sending Google somewhere around 130 megabytes of data. And guys, this is not for a phone being used. This is a phone being left completely idle, no apps open, just the internet connection being left on. So what Google is being sued over is not because of the data being sent, but it's more about that it's being sent even when it's on cellular data. So Wi-Fi, it's fine. If you're using an app on cellular data, again, that's fine because hey, these apps need to communicate with their servers, right? But when it's being left completely idle, even then Android phones are sending the data over. And apparently what the suers are saying is that the Google terms of services, there are 4 terms of services, we'll have them up on screen right now. None of them actually mention that even when idle, a phone would be sending data. So they're saying that Google is stealing their cellular data, they're stealing some of the, data cap. And actually data prices here in India, they're quite cheap. Like Jio, Airtel, they all have 1 gig a day data plans that aren't, okay, I won't call them cheap, but they're like more or less affordable. But then in the US, data prices can be really, really high. So like for example, the average data price for 1 gig of data in the US is around $8. So let's say 130 MB of data being sent, that means $1 per month of data is being used by the phone just to communicate with the Google servers. So I don't know what to make of this right now, as in like it doesn't seem a big deal to us here in India, but then I can see $1 equals somewhere around 70 bucks, 70 Indian rupees. So 70 Indian rupees a month being stolen by Google. I guess I would be angry about it. What do you guys feel? Do let me know in the comments down below. Moving on to the next news topic, and we have some good news for you guys. Netflix is offering 2 free days of streaming here in India. Now, to make use of this offer, you will have to register. So there's a link down in the description below. But once you do register, you do not need any credit card, any form of payments, nothing needed, just your email. And for the 5th and 6th of December, that's a weekend, you can enjoy as much Netflix streaming as you want for absolutely free. So Netflix is actually, doing this in an initiative to increase streaming services here in India, because earlier this year, they made the decision to pull the 30 days of free streaming. Not just from India, they actually did it first here in India, but then they pulled it from the rest of the world as well. So right now there's no way to sample Netflix, so to say. So this is why they have come up with this plan. I think it's quite good. Like, if there's some series that you have wanted to watch for a long time and you don't have a Netflix connection, sorry, this is one good way of seeing it for free on 5th and 6th of December. So mark the date on your calendars and check the link in the description. Get registered. You'll have Netflix for free for 48 hours. Moving on to some more news, and this one is for the cricket fans out there. Apparently, Facebook as well as Instagram have launched an AR sticker based on Virat Kohli. Now, this is ahead of the India-Australia series that goes live, I think November 29th. Yeah, this Sunday. So yeah, it's very well timed. And you know what? Go ahead, have fun with it, try it out. Do let me know in the comments how you feel, what do you feel about it. Moving on to the next one, and finally we have some phone news for you guys. So these are not leaks because these phones have already been released, not here in India, but in Europe. So we have 2 Samsung devices for you, the Samsung A12 and the A02s. So these are, again, as you can guess by the naming, these are budget-based devices. So, don't go in expecting huge specs. I will tell you guys the specs. Both of them come with 6.5-inch screens, not AMOLED, IPS LCD, actually not even IPS LCD, TFT LCD. So yeah, that's a bit of a downgrade. The A12, that's the higher end phone, like comparatively higher end phone. So it's got a 8-megapixel camera, an 8-megapixel selfie snapper up front along with that display, and these are what Samsung calls the V-shaped display. So yeah, you have a notch, not a punch hole, for that 8-megapixel camera. As far as the processor goes, we have the Helio P35 inside the A12. As for the A02s, that has a slightly lower Snapdragon 450 chip. It's been quite some time, guys, since I've seen a 450 chip inside a mainstream phone. So let's see how that works out. The battery, well, we have a 5000 milliamp hour battery, so plenty of battery life, at least that's what's expected. 15 watts of fast charging. And the cameras, well, they really do differ when it comes to the cameras, at least the rear cameras. That's what we are talking about here. So the rear cameras for the A12s, we have a 48 megapixel primary sensor, a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and your token 2 megapixel depth as well as macro sensors. As for the A02s, that's still got a triple camera setup, so not bad for an ultra budget device. So what we have here is a 13 megapixel main camera along with, again, the 2 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel depth sensors. The prices for them, we'll have it up here for the A12 as well as the A02s. And these are European prices, so if they do launch in India, do expect them to be priced a little lower. And on to the last news of the day, we have some leaks about the Motorola Neo. Okay, not the Matrix Neo, this is NIO Neo, not NEO Neo. Anyway, lame jokes apart. What's interesting about this phone is that Motorola is apparently testing out 105 Hz. Yes, you heard it right, 105 Hz, not 120, not 144, 105. Okay, so this may be something like, ROG Phone 3, Asus testing out 160 Hz on that device. We don't really know at this point why they would, try getting at such a weird refresh rate. But anyway, we'll see what happens. We do have some other leaks about this device. It's gonna sport a 6.7 inch, yes, a massive 6.7 inch display. It's going to be AMOLED, it's going to be 2K. So, obviously what do you expect from a flagship device, because hey, the Neo is a flagship. We have Snapdragon 865, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, and we are also going to get 64 megapixel rear primary camera. Along with that, there's going to be a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and then your token depth and macro sensors. Actually, no, there's not going to be a macro sensor. Sorry about that. There's just going to be a depth sensor. Anyway, that's it for the news for this week. I know this was a little fast, a little quick, but that's what we are trying to do here at FTJ. We are trying to keep it short, trying to keep it interesting. So do tell me what you guys think of this video down in the comments. And as always, like, share, subscribe. You guys know what to do. Hit that bell icon as well. This is Amarto. Have a nice week, guys.